Let's open bag 13. Another one bag step. That stuff should be facing the back. Yeah, that's correct. Done. It's not very straight, is it? Oh, it's not very straight. It's kind of leaning over this way. But whatever. I think if anything, we want it to be facing the other way, so I might actually turn that around, you know? Yeah, I think I'm going to turn that around. Okay, I just put all that stuff on the other side, and I'm going to turn it around because I would rather it leans backwards a little bit than forward. If it leans forward, it just looks really strange. So the compromise, of course, is that this points towards the front of the ship. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's better than having the mast lean the other way. Let's check the other masts while we're here. Yeah, it looks like they all lean a little bit. They're not straight. Actually, this one's straight. Kind of. Yeah, they're all a little bit wonky. Oh well. Like 14. And there should be somewhere. Oh, this. Look at that. I've never seen one of these before. Oh, there should be something else. Maybe that. It doesn't look like that in the instruction manual, but that's all I've got, so I guess it's going to be that. In the instruction manual, this piece has studs, but my piece does not have studs. Actually, the instructions for this also show the little 2x1, little 2x2 triangular piece with 2 studs on it, and I don't have any of those. But I do have this thing, which is not shown in any of the pictures, so I guess that's my replacement. Just gonna have to go along with it for now and hope that it's not used for something else. 15.1 and 15.2. I'm not sure what happened here. I just, in bag, I think it was in bag maybe it's 12 or 13, I just got all of these 3x1s and 4x1s, and they don't seem to be used for anything. So I guess they're just freebies. I don't know. Maybe we'll use them later. Bag 16 now. 16.1. 16.2. This is a cool little bit of detail here. So this like white thing, this like white base thing goes in here upside down to make a kind of some kind of cup or research glass thing, and then we got this Bunsen burner, I guess, there, and some kind of box next to it. Really nice little bit of detail. And this goes in here, as so. And then we've got this pipe next to it, which according to the instructions is a steam vent, which helps to heat the room, I guess using steam from the steam engine. So yeah, that's a nice, cool little bit of detail there. And there's more. There's another table. This time we're doing a 2x1 table. 1, 2. And this time we've got, what have we got on there? We've got a gold little plate thing, like that. And then these, which I assume are binoculars for a minifigure. They go on here. I guess that's supposed to be a microscope. Nice. Bag 17 is a single bag. I think this is the steam engine. And these are the 3 cylinders here. It was a triple expansion steam engine. So 3 cylinders. Now what? We've got those 3 on there, and then we're going to put these things go here. That's a tight fit. It won't go on. Oh, that's a really tight fit. Ah, almost broke a bone doing that. Now I can't turn it because it's so tight. Leverage. Okay, let's try that again with this side. Hopefully this one's not as tight. Yep, it's just as tight. Oh, okay, that's it. I think we're gonna have to make another one of those. For here, maybe. If I do it on the engine, it's just going to explode. Oh, really can't get that on at all. See that? It's just... I'm going to try and put it in from the side instead. No. Ah, got it. Really tight. It just doesn't want to move. I'm just... Those little clips. I can't be bothered with this anymore. I'm just going to... I'm going to leave that like that because I just can't. I just can't do it. It's not worth the hassle. I wanted it to sit a little bit higher, but... That's wrong, actually. Should be like this. I wanted that pipe to sit a little bit higher, but that clip's a nightmare, and I put it in the wrong place, and it's just, you know. Still looks good, though. It's still very obviously a little steam engine. And then it looks like we just turn this over and put the tops on. That's it. That's our steam engine. I would prefer it had some kind of base plate on it, but it doesn't. And we're just going to drop that in there. There we go. Sits inside the ship as so. That is a lovely little bit of detail. I really like that. But it's a steam engine, so I wonder where the boiler is, because we didn't put anything else in the rest of the ship. I mean, I know they're not going to be visible, but at least the Titanic model had the full set of stuff. You know, it had the boilers, it had the engines, it had the steam turbine, prop shafts and props. This seems to be a little bit lacking in that regard, but the steam engine's still a nice addition, either way. Okay, let's move on from the steam engine. I accidentally didn't record this part, but I've just assembled this side piece here. And I found this in the special bag that has all of the portholes in and the Endurance nameplate, which is just a lovely piece, isn't it? I found this in there, and I remembered when I watched some videos of this set before I bought it, this should go on the wall in this room, I think, so I need to go back and check. The instructions doesn't say to put that in there, so we'll just leave it for now, but I'm sure it goes there in the end. Anyway, let's get back on track. Time for bag 19, and we need this thing as well. Everything looks in place, and then we can finish off this side with this thing here. That's it. Now we are going to fit this thing, which curves around the bow. And it seems that it just simply clips in there and then goes around to the other side. Alright, there's 2 of these, so I want to make sure I've got the one that's the right length. Exactly the same, so there's nothing to worry about there. It can't be wrong. So let's squeeze that into there. Looks good, and then we just bring this side around here. And does that look right to you? Because it certainly doesn't look right to me. Yeah, that certainly doesn't look right to me. Let's see. Have I missed something? Are these for something else? No, I think they're just the wrong length and I need to cut them. I think they just need cutting down. Just the wrong length, simply. Let me check my instruction booklet and see what it says, because I'm following the Lego instructions, which of course are not exactly the same. Well, they might be. We're about to find out. That's a 1-to-1 ratio picture, and you can see that this is way too long. But at least we can easily check where to cut it, right? So if I just get that and put it around there. Yeah, so we'll cut that there. I've just checked all the other bags and stuff, and there's nothing. There's one more of these, which is the same length as the other one. And then, there we go. Good job I didn't cut it. Well, that was a lucky miss, wasn't it? That was really lucky. Okay, this is the correct piece. Well, actually, it's actually too short. No, this one's too short. Maybe the other one's longer. Let's see. Oh, the other one's the same length. And it's got some kind of discoloring on it. You see that? Right, so I'm not sure what's going on with these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it until the end. It's easily accessible on the exterior of the ship, so I don't need to rush and do it now. Once I know where all the other white bits go, we can check. We can cut it if needed or whatever. We're now on bag set 20. We've got bag 21 and 22. This piece is finished and we can mount it on the ship now, as so. Very nice. Looks like we're going to do the helm or something now. It's got these Technic pieces involved. There we go. Nice little gear mechanism. Cool. This is the helm. I was right. Why won't that sit on there? There we go. Yeah, I was right. This is the helm because it connects to this shaft here. It's going to connect to the rudder. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. I like that a lot. I really like that. That's a nice little touch. That is an extremely responsive rudder. You just turn it one tiny little bit and it's like hard over. It's got basically like 90 degrees of movement and it's hard over. Finally at that stage where the hull's going to be complete. That fits like a glove, doesn't it? And we put these two Technic shafts in. There we go. And the second one in the second hole. That's it. There we go. The ship's all in one piece now. We can remove the temporary stand. There we go. So we've got the hull all in one piece now. And if you can just see there, you can see here there's like quite a noticeable gap in between the stern section and the mid section. And I don't know if the Lego model is like that, but yeah, it's not very good. There's a lot of room there for that to mess up. But maybe after we get like all the other pieces and stuff on, because presuming that there's going to be deck pieces on there that connect the whole thing together, maybe it will sit in the right position. Maybe. Yeah, I spoke a little bit too soon because I just looked at the next page of the instructions and it says we've got to fix it all together here, which immediately solves that problem. So yeah, we can disregard that. That looks much better. Let me give you a nice look there. You can still see a little bit of a gap. You can see through it a little bit, but it can't be perfect. That's a nice hull. I really like that a lot. Bag 21 is another single bag step. So that part was a little bit difficult to get on there because you've got to like pull this wall back towards the front of the ship so you can push that in there, otherwise the grey part doesn't slide into place. Okay, I think we've reached our first major problem with this set. There's two missing pieces. It says in the instructions I should have 4 of these little like 2x1 triangle things. But in fact I only have 2. So there should be 2 more of those and there's only 2 in there. So I'm just searching through all of my leftover pieces from the Titanic, Britannic and Olympic build. And all of the sand coloured pieces that I bought for that conversion. I've still got quite a lot left over. So I'm just going to find the best fit and replace that with those. I do have some triangular pieces, but as you can see, they're almost twice the size of the ones that I need. I just need 2x1 little triangle thing like that. So these are not going to work. I've got these two little triangles left over from they're what I took off the Titanic when I converted it into Britannic. So maybe they'll work. If not, I'll just use those 2x1s instead. Let's see. So these little connection pieces are supposed to go on here, but they're so tight. I can get them on, but only about halfway. I can't make them go on all the way. But since they're all the same and they're not going to come out easily, I guess it's not a problem. Because they're all the same. So these clip onto here. I thought these were going to be for rigging. These little clips on the deck there, I thought they were going to be for rigging, but it turns out that they're for the lifeboat davits. I hope there's something else for these, because I don't want to stand up. I've totally messed this up. This davit and this thing shouldn't be together, and I just totally can't separate them. I'll try and do that later, off camera. These little vent things, or some kind of whatever they are, go on here. These are not supposed to be like that, you know. They're not supposed to be all floppy, they're supposed to be tight so they stay upright. Okay, this one's quite tight, but it's going to have to do like that. And then the last one is actually the one that I messed up, which I'm going to fix later. This thing goes in here. Just like that. And then this one's not quite straight like the other one, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Turn it around so that it leans back, as opposed to leaning forward. Bag 24, 1 part bag. According to the instructions, it's a lifeboat. So these boats actually go on these davits, and I'm hoping that when I hang it there, the gravity of the gravitational pull of the boat is going to hold these straight. Oh, look at that! It holds them straight. That's really good. I thought they were both going to fall together, you know. Actually, I think they would. If I have them perfectly straight, I think they'll just fall together. But because they're not straight, there's too much tension between them. Same again over here. Oh, they look great. They look really great. I love that. Okay, let's put the ship back over here and move on to the next bag. Bag 25. If I remember correctly, when I watched some review videos of this set, the lifeboats were not the same. So the aft set of lifeboats were smaller, I think, and the forward set were bigger. So I think these lifeboats are going to be a little bit bigger or different in some way. Yeah, it seems I was correct. This part of the process is exactly the same as the other two boats. But when we get to the next stage, something's a little bit different. We need to include this thing. I think these boats are going to be a little bit longer. These two forward boats are like 90% the same as the aft ones. They're just a little bit longer and the construction is a tiny bit different. Let's put them on the ship. There we go. I just want to note that I added a little 2x1 here because without it, these little like flanged pieces just kind of hung over the end. And I didn't like that much. I wanted it to be like flush. So I just added one of my own 2x1s there just to push it out a little bit. There we go. The boats are done. I just want to give you a closer look at these boats because they are really nice, you know. They are really, really nice. The aft one's exactly the same, just a little bit shorter. So the davit problem has fixed itself because of the boats, but this problem, these floppy pipes, I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. Bag 28. There's just 3 bags left. I think we just got to do the masts now, the top of the masts. That's the masts all finished. It's kind of boring and repetitive, so I didn't film that part. There was a few small issues with the masts, mainly this part here. This part, I got the wrong piece in the bag. There should have been a 4x1 Technic piece there, but I actually got a 3x1, but I could still make it work by just rearranging the pieces a little bit. I was missing one of these cone pieces here, like we've got here, this little cone. I was missing one of those for the top of this mast. And these ones I just can't fit them on properly. This cone's supposed to go all the way to the bottom and sit there, but I'm going to have to just leave them like that because I can't get them on. But apart from that, everything with the mast seems cool. And now that the masts are done, it's time to put the sails on. The ladders for climbing the rigging and masts are just a case of getting these like long rope things and just clipping all these little arms on there. But you don't need to see me do that. I just got finished with the masts and the rigging, which I did off camera. And I've reached the final step, and there's no use for any of these things apart from what we've already should have done. So what we should have already done is we should have put like one of the things on here, one of these like plastic bar elements around here to the other side. And then there should be one to make up the railing here. So I'm gonna have to cut one to size. I can use one of these for the railing, then I think for the bottom part, I'm gonna cut one to size. So I cut down one of those long ones, and we're just gonna try and get it on here now. Doesn't want to go in there. Those clips. Oh, there it goes. Okay, let's try and put this on the other side now. Yeah, that looks about right. Really difficult to get in. But that's right, it should go around there like that. That's correct. Let's turn our attention to this railing up here now. And I'm going to just lift this mast out of the way. I need to take off these life preservers, and I think this one will do it. Let's try and see. No, it's too short. Or is it? Yeah, this one's too short. So that one will go on there, but it kind of stops short of going into the last hand there. So maybe we'll have to cut down one of the other pieces. Yeah, so I'm going to use this one and cut it short. If I just cut it about there. Let's just get a pair of pliers in. Oh, I knocked the camera over, but there we go. That's it. Now we just pop that in there. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that looks about right to me. Time to put the life preservers on. Just clip on there like that. 1 and 2. I'm certain that for a ship of this size there should be more than 2 life preservers, but whatever. That's it. They're both done. So with those bars on and the life preservers there, we're finally finished. She looks pretty good. Let me just show you over here some of the issues I had with the set. So first of all, probably the most obvious thing is you can see some of the sails are like creased where they've been folded in the bag. And I was going to like steam iron them, but then I just realized that they're made out of this like, they're made out of a kind of plasticky material, and I'm scared that if I apply enough heat, they'll melt because they don't feel like real fabric. So actually for the most part, everything was fine with the rigging. It was a bit of a tedious process. I do have some issue here where I couldn't get those cone elements on, but it's not really the end of the world. They still look okay, just sat there like that. What else was there? Oh yeah, this problem here. I messed around with it to make it work because I thought I was missing a piece. I thought I was missing one of these Technic bar elements here, but actually I had it. It was in one of the extra bags and I didn't realize. It was in like the bag with the sails or something stupid like that. So yeah, this sail's a little bit not right because this mast should be a little bit taller, but I don't have enough pieces to do it, so I can try and add something later to make it look better. But I've got plans for this ship that don't involve it having any sails anymore, so I'm not too worried about the rigging. I just wanted to finish it. I had some issues here with this part. There's supposed to be a normal like white bar there, a short one that goes through this entire element and has the rigging cable kind of like stuck into it, but it was too loose. And if I just left that in there, it would just fall out. So instead I had to use some other piece I had lying around and tie it and just make it work a different way. The problem with that is because I don't have the bar here, which should be horizontal and now it's vertical, I didn't have anywhere to put the chains onto, so I've had to make the chains shorter and I've had to just put them here like this. Still looks pretty good. Apart from that, everything else is as it should be. And she's a great looking ship, isn't she? She's a really nice looking ship. I just spun her around on the stand and put her on the other way so that she can display her nicer looking side to us. This side does look better. The problem is that flag's now not visible because it's only printed on one side. The anchor was a pretty nice little thing to do, quite interesting. These things were quite interesting to make also. I enjoyed that part probably the most out of the whole build, making those. Those lifeboats look absolutely fantastic. I really, really like the look of them. but they weren't fun to build. Yeah. So one last thing that I couldn't find a solution for is these vents are just, yeah, they're extremely floppy. So I might be able to fix that by changing the hinge at the bottom in the future. But like I said earlier, the plans that I have for this ship mean that, to be honest, stuff like that doesn't really matter, because what I'm going to do with it, it's not going to look like this at all after I've finished with it. But I wanted to finish the whole thing to give a kind of review and just have the building experience. So even though there were a few issues, I think that considering the price is so much cheaper than real Lego, it's totally worth it. I feel like I've got something that's quite close to the same quality as the real Lego product, and it was just a fraction of the price. And with a little bit of tweaking, you could fix any issues, really. If you've got extra parts lying around, you could totally build this and have a great looking Endurance for less than half the price of the Lego set. Here's the finished Endurance next to my RMS Britannic, so you can get an idea of the scale. It's pretty big. It's quite big. It's actually taller than the Titanic model, and it's probably about 2/3 the length. So for the price, it's really good. You're getting a lot for the money.